You are here for tracking the pro stock market game. You may know me as the Prophet, but I'm here to make sure that you get some of that in your pocket today. Now, you're looking at the trading floor, a lot of these teams. There's some that stand out, some that don't. You might be thinking, who's a safe bet? Who has the highest upside? Let's get a few things out of the way. We'll start from the top, go to the bottom, and then we'll get right into the predictions. Number one, Team Liquid. They won the lock-in tournament. You'd be thinking, this could be a good deal. The floor price, way too high. The only team over 2,000, that's too much for me considering they're playing up against 100 Thieves, the champions last split, who did suffer in playoffs, but that could still be an upset. Down to the bottom, Immortals. You're thinking this team did not win a single game in the lock-in tournament. Maybe they didn't have their full roster. Wrong, they did. This is why it's a problem. Even though the upside could be really high for Immortals, they also play TL, so you're not gonna be getting that Dogecoin explosion from IMT here. Started from the top, went to the bottom. Let's get right into the thick of it with the matchups. On February 5th, the first day, this weekend, TSM versus EG. Now, TSM did not play their full lineup. In fact, they played their academy team. Their full lineup is going to be much better than that. They were practicing this whole time. And up against EG, there's some real upside here. EG did get dismantled by Team Liquid. And I get a feeling that Team Liquid, having so much video experience of evil geniuses, managed to tailor a strategy against them. If TSM can emulate that style, TSM could actually upset evil geniuses here. And considering their floor price is 1,500 and EG's is second place 1,800, TSM might be the best bang for your buck here alongside Dignitas, which we'll get into later. CLG versus FlyQuest, the next matchup. Now, CLG has been more exciting than last year, but FlyQuest unfortunately has not delivered in my opinion. The floor price for both of these teams is fairly similar, but I do think that CLG has a little bit more potential. Both of these teams have a somewhat equal strength of schedule. You've got Golden Guardians playing up against FlyQuest, who is bringing in their full lineup, but Counter Logic is going to be playing up against 100 Thieves. If it's the same 100 Thieves that got bopped by Dignitas, this could be a 2-0 week for CLG. With that being said though, I'm going with CLG. I think they're a little bit more exciting and more explosive than what we've seen from FlyQuest. Next game, TL 100 Thieves. The big boys battle it out. Now, Team Liquid looks so much better. They looked like they improved as the lock-in tournament went through, whereas 100 Thieves got worse. Abidage ran it down. You lost against Blue, you lost against Dignitas. This did not make sense to me. Closer was being really good, but Bjergsen is always solid. He's never going to let you down. He doesn't need to be flashy. He could just play Zillion. For some reason, no one still bans it against him. I think Team Liquid will knock down 100 Thieves even further in the standings. You can count on TL going for this one. The floor price is just too high, guys. This is why we're trying to avoid Team Liquid. If you want to play it safe, you go for it, but there is a chance that 100 Thieves do take them down. So be careful where you put your money this split. Next matchup, Golden Guardians against Cloud9. This is a tough one to call because both these teams did not play their full roster in the lock-in tournament. So you're going to see Cloud9 with a Korean lineup, and you're going to see Golden Guardians playing a mix of NA and EU talent. I'm thinking Golden Guardians here. Cloud9 floor price a little bit too high, 1,700s. Golden Guardians 1,500s. Golden Guardians has something to prove. They got a chip on their shoulders. They always surprise you a little bit early. It's when the split goes later that they always disappoint. Cloud9, I think there's just too much going on against this team. The roster issues, the visa issues, the language barriers. I think this team will take some time to figure out and iron their kinks. I don't think this is a team that's going to initially be amazing. I'm sure they'll finish strong, but starting strong, I think it's going to be tough. And a loss against Golden Guardians here could be exactly the wake-up call they need to start fixing and addressing what is going to be a future problem with language barriers down the line. We're going to go into the last game of the day, Dignitas against IMT. Listen, Dignitas managed to take down 100 Thieves in a really impressive fashion and played through the rest of the playoff matches pretty well with their full lineup. IMT did not win a single game here. I have no faith in IMT, unfortunately. They did not impress me at all. It seems like the team does not have any player to carry through. And right now, if you don't have top, bottom, holding their own, it doesn't matter that PoE plays control mage as well. He's never going to get to that stage in the game. So Dignitas being more explosive and a really impressive performance by River, the jungler, makes me think that right now Dignitas could actually be one of those secret picks that could get you a lot of money, guys. Dignitas has IMT, which is sure to be a dub for them, and TSM. I'm thinking that Dignitas, the cheapest team, could get the highest upside. Downside is that they're not really punching too far up. Immortals is the team below them, and TSM is just one slot above them. So the growth isn't quite that there, but you do get to buy more stocks of them than anybody else. Now we're going to the next day. This is a big day, guys. February 6th is my birthday, so I'm gonna give you a birthday bash. CLG versus 100 Thieves. You gotta wait on this one. You'd like to see if 100 Thieves manage to beat Team Liquid or not, but I still think that Team Liquid is gonna beat 100 Thieves, and you can count on CLG to potentially win this one. This is a really tricky one. My heart tells me that CLG can do it, but 100 Thieves is really solid, and if they can just get past the early game, then they will do fine. So Counter Logic Gaming needs to be really strong early. With that being said though, I'm still gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go with 100 Thieves. I don't think that Abidagi will play as poorly as he did during the lock-in playoffs. Next match, TSM against Dignitas. This is the big one. This is where these two teams that have had the most upside so far are battling it out. I think that Dignitas can come out on top here because TSM has a lot of players no one really knows about, and Dignitas has been running on this tear. Remember last year, the year before, Dignitas has actually been way more surprising than people thought they were. Golden Guardians and Immortals and Dignitas and FlyQuest seem to be this bottom of the barrel team that no one really cared about, but Dignitas continues to surprise somehow. So I think that this team found another one of these surprising streaks this year with the playoff run. They're starting off on a high note. They're clearly budget, but that doesn't mean they can't go far. I think Dignitas can take down TSM here. EG against Cloud9. It's got to be EG again. EG was heralded to be the strongest team in the lock-in tournament. They've had their full roster. Inspired is surprisingly good. Jojo Pion is impressive. There's some issues that the team is facing, but that's just growing pains. You still have Impact, a stud in the top lane. You've got Vulcan, who had an incredible lock-in tournament for some parts of it, at least on his engaged champions. The Tam Kench is not as exciting as the Rakan, but again, Cloud9 might be the trap here. This is a new team, way too many new pieces. It's gonna take time for Cloud9 to ramp up. That's a team I'd stay away from. I think EG can be the safe bet here. The loss of Team Liquid shouldn't deter anybody. This team has been crushing everybody before that loss. Next up, Golden Guardians against FlyQuest. Again, FlyQuest has been real disappointing to me. I think that Jose Dioro and Afram need to get it together and work in sync. To kill the mid lane, yeah, he's cool, but it doesn't matter if you have a mid laner, or rather a jungler and a support that aren't on the same page, that die and stagger the reset so that the vision falls all over the place, and then you can't even play mid laner. So it doesn't even matter how good your mid laner is if you can't get the jungle and support synergy down. I'm seeing some issues there. I'm thinking this is a team that could be like Cloud9, a lot of potential later down the split, but at the moment, starting off, I think this team needs to put in a few more reps, whereas Golden Guardians, I think on paper, their players might be a little bit better. I think Golden Guardians has some exciting pieces to them. Now that Pride Stalker is in the lineup, Licorice proved to be a really solid top laner last split, despite everybody thinking that he was running it down on FlyQuest before. The transfer to Golden Guardians reinvigorated him, and the man's still trying to make the most out of his career, reach the same highs he had on Cloud9, so he's got a chip on the shoulder, something to prove. And right now the people are running Ignite Flash top lane. Who knows what cheese he's got up his sleeve. I'm going with Golden Guardians for this one. And now the last game of the week. You knew this was gonna be inevitable. We started opening up Team Liquid and against Immortals, and we're gonna close with Team Liquid against Immortals. Stay away from this one for Immortals. I mean, Team Liquid has been just so solid. This is a team that only gets better with time. Their veteran status here, I think, is just so heavyweight compared to Immortals that has yet to win a game, guys. This could be IMT going undefeated for the first 2 months of the LCS season. I think Immortals has a huge upside. Of course, it's the largest upside you could have, the cheapest team versus the most expensive, but I'm just not seeing how the pieces of Immortals can individually get an advantage against Team Liquid and then close it out before Team Liquid finds a way to get back into the game. Ayla, CoreJJ, Whippo, Bjergsen, Centauran, these guys are not the team that rolls over against uncoordinated attacks. They're not tilting on their own. You need to attack them, and Immortals' offensive doesn't look so good right now. Hope you guys found this useful. Let me know how you ended up placing your bets on these teams. Whose stock did you end up buying? And more importantly, who ended up making you the most bang for your buck? Until next time, profit out.